Mm-hmm. I bet. Just a minute. It lives, I see. Do you want to speak with Lolita? I'm sorry, but Gabriel's allowed. I mean, he's out. You know, you could do better. I know I don't know you, but you could do better. Bye-bye. Good morning. You look like hell. Did you have another nightmare last night?
Yes, because having nightmares is what I do, apparently. Seventh damn night in a row.
I told you, it's that voodoo book you're researching. That stuff can seriously screw with your karma.
Unfortunately, I don't think my readers would go for a horror novel about fluffy bunny rabbits. So voodoo it is.
You mean your reader? She lives in Wisconsin, doesn't she?
Bite me.
Hey, what goes on in your bed stays in your bed as far as I'm concerned. I have messages for you when you want them.
The books on the table have been chosen for their special appeal. Recent fiction by the biggies. In other words, nothing written by Gabriel. Gabriel doesn't want to take that with him. Today's newspaper is on the counter. Times dated June 18th, 1993. The Aquarius horoscope says, potential storms ahead. Proceed with caution and do not get involved with anything new at this time.
Right.
Times dated June 8th. Potential... The box has Gabriel's name on it, written in his grandmother's handwriting. Gabriel's father's old sketchbook sits on the top. Gabriel looks fondly at his father's sketchbook and charcoal pencil. Images haunt the pages of Philip Knight's sketchbook, the way they must have haunted his mind. The images touch a deep chord in Gabriel. So familiar are they that he finds it hard to believe they aren't from his own subconscious. Blessed caffeine.
Good call.
The welcome mat is well worn. Unfortunately, that's only because Gabriel picked it up second-hand, not because of the stampede of customers. There could be a secret passage under the doormat, but we didn't have time.
Those keychains were for a promo I tried once, before I realized it was hopeless. Gracie's resume. She was way overqualified. And also the only person who applied. I practically own stock in these guys. Mind if I borrow the magnifying glass?
No, Sherlock. Just bring it back when we get the next estate shipment.
Not so lucky for the rabbit, was it? The Blake Backlash series. My literary claim to fame, such as it is. I forget where that came from, but seems like a nice place to visit. Just a few self-help books. That one on top was a joke gift from Mosley. I'm going to take the tweezers for a bit.
Good. You're beginning to look a bit scruffy.
I always had a thing for St. George, the one who slew a dragon. Yeah, it's probably bigger than this little guy, though. That's from Graham. She likes to think it means someone's watching over me. I'm not so sure about that, but I don't have a heart to get rid of it. Someone left those here after Mardi Gras. My spare motorcycle gloves. Someone left those here after Mardi Gras. Local interest piece on the store. It didn't garner the sympathy sales I was hoping for.
It's a book about the world of snakes.
Hey, that's interesting. Snakes can sense their prey by vibration.
Did you know that medieval legends about dragons and giant worms are actually based on snakes? You know, dragons, devils, sea monsters. They've always been associated with snakes.
Grace, get alive.
Gabriel leafs through a German-English dictionary.
Besessen means possessed. That's handy to know.
Gabriel leafs through a
Drachen means dragons. I wonder if Mosley would know he was being insulted if I called him Drachen Breath.
Gabriel leafs.
Mittag means midday, noon.
Gabriel leafs.
Drachen means dragon.
A book of German poetry that once belonged to Gabriel's grandfather. Gabriel has always found it strangely compelling.
Drei Drachen kriegen in meinen Schlaf, die Seele wühlen sie, lebendig zum Frost. Feurigen Atems, gespaltener Zunge, genießen sie jedes Mal.
That's nice. Kinda creepy, though. Who's the author?
Heinz Ritter. I'm not sure what it says, but I get the feeling this guy was one sick puppy.
The tweezers from the bookshop are... Gabriel looks at the cash register, checking for cobwebs. Gabriel opens the cash register to examine the take, or in the case of St. George's books, the mistake. The cash register contains that doesn't seem to work. It's a $20 gift certificate.
I trust you can live without this old gift certificate.
Knock yourself out. Gabriel, that's all the change I have. Touch it and you can kiss your hand goodbye.
Would I do that to you?
It's an ashtray. The old desk is one Gabriel picked up near a dumpster. Not too shabby, huh? Well, okay, maybe it is. Grace keeps her art supplies here. Gabriel wouldn't dare touch Grace's oil paints. Gabriel would rather use the phone in his studio for privacy.
If you try to look down my shirt one more time, I'm leaving.
Just trying to refresh my memory.
I know what you're trying to refresh, and it isn't your memory. Get down.
3 snakes in a skull. Gabriel's father painted it.
What a wacky offbeat kind of guy Daddy was.
Nope, no safe full of money back there. Gabriel plans to turn the balcony into a schmaltzy cafe if he ever gets the cash. The balcony floor needs work and is unsafe. The windows of St. George's Books overlook Bourbon Street. The chandelier is original. Gabriel finds it charming. All right, all right. He can't afford to replace it.
Don't mind if I do.
Do what?
Oh, nothing. Like I haven't tried. Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
What do you know about voodoo?
I didn't know much of anything about it until you started researching it for your book. Now I know that it's active in the city. There's that shop and museum. It can clearly be dangerous in the wrong hands. You should be careful investigating it.
What do you know?
I've told you all I know.
Did you find any good voodoo resources for me?
The best in the city are supposedly the Dixieland Drugstore and the Historical Museum of Voodoo. Both are right here in the French Quarter.
How would I ever manage without you?
You? Give me a break. The devil himself couldn't change you.
Well, if the devil had great legs, perhaps. Like yours.
And a riveting personality, I'm sure. If you need any more research done, just ask. It's not as though we're swamped with customers.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
I've only been here 2 months, but I love it. It's so much more alive than any place I've been. It feels like anything's possible here.
What else can you tell me about New Orleans?
You're the native. Don't ask me.
Tell me about yourself, Grace.
What do you want to know?
How come we haven't gone out yet?
I'm still waiting around for that lobotomy. As soon as I get it, I'll let you know, okay?
How do you like working at St. George's Books?
Well, it's not exactly a huge intellectual challenge, although the math in your record books could confuse Einstein. Still, I love old books, and it's a nice way to pay the bills while I explore the city for a summer. If you ever pay me, that is.
What do you do after work?
I either go to my oil painting class or my Tai Chi. You know that.
You can go overboard with this improving yourself stuff. You don't want to alienate us mere mortals.
Oh, I suppose I should just allow my mind and body to atrophy.
Works for me. How old are you?
Old enough to know about men like you.
Just tell me anything at all.
I just got my master's in history and classics. My folks wanted me to go on right away for my PhD, but 18 years of school was enough. I needed a break.
Just tell me anything at all.
I came to New Orleans because I'd read so much about it. I thought spending a few months here would clear my head.
Just tell me anything at all.
I've been studying Tai Chi for 10 years. It's a very spiritual discipline. I'm sure discipline of any sort isn't something that would appeal to you, Gabriel.
Nothing, I guess. Never mind. Do you have messages for me?
Your friend Detective Mosley called. Talkative, isn't he?
Especially with you. What did he want?
He told me to tell you that his mother's maiden name is Humphrey, and that he left some photos for you at the station, at the front desk.
It's about time.
Let me guess. This has to do with the voodoo murders, right? Some kind of inside police information? Did you tell him you'd put him in your new book?
Maybe. A writer has a certain obligation to his readers, you know.
Gabriel, you know you'll never put him in your book. Your main character's a female orthodontist. You're gonna be reincarnated as a pit bull if you keep screwing with your karma.
As long as it's a male pit bull with a really big...
That's enough. Thanks.
Do you have messages for me?
You got a call from someone named Wolfgang Ritter. He was calling from Germany. He told me it was urgent. Maybe you should give him a call.
Call Germany? Like hell. If it's really important, he'll call back.
Well, fine. Let's just hope he's not with the German lottery for pitiful American authors.
Do you have messages for me?
Your grandmother called.
I keep meaning to get over there. What did she say? Did she sound good?
She sounded great. We had a nice little chat about you.
Grace.
Don't worry, I didn't go into detail about your cardinal sins. Not that anything about you could surprise her. She adores you anyway.
She's my girl.
And she sent over that box on the table for you.
Do you have messages for me?
Dana called and Susie left a message about a lawsuit.
Toss 'em.
Okie dokie. Well, that's all the messages for now.
So, what's new, Grace?
Your use of mathematics, for one thing. These books are unbelievable.
What can I say? I refuse to be bound by rules.
The strap marks on your bedpost speak otherwise.
Done anything interesting lately?
By your definition? No. I prefer it that way.
Keep 'em busy?
Not really. If you need any research done, let me know.
Seen any good movies?
I saw a great documentary last night on pyramid excavations.
You mean small, dark places that haven't been touched in centuries? Sounds right up your alley.
Well, it did help me gain a better understanding of your mind.
Did I ever tell you that you're actually quite attractive?
Be still, my heart.
Had any customers lately?
No, but I'm sure you have.
You know, you really should get out more.
But then who'd take care of St. George's?
Me?
Exactly.
Could you do some...
Sure, what?
I can't think of anything. Cute gargoyle, eh? Life is too short to talk to ugly statues.
You never know it by the women you date.
The gargoyle has no function but sheer ugliness. Not unlike... Oh, never mind. The typewriter is beginning to accumulate cobwebs.
Should I feel guilty? Nah.
The typewriter is too heavy to lug around.
Can't. Writer's block.
Gabriel's desk has been gathering dust since he wrote his last novel. Several dozen books, including a few of Gabriel's novels, occupy the shelves above his desk. Gabriel doesn't feel like reading right now. The wastebasket overflows with crumpled pages of mediocre glory.
If I threw those pages away, they weren't worth reading.
Do you have men problems? Someone put a hex on you?
Gabriel's
Call
mini
Sister
stereo
Cross.
isn't
Through the
exactly
power of
high
love and the
fidelity.
Lord Jesus Christ,
Then
she
again,
can fix what
neither
they
is he.
You're listening to KLEB in Knowledge, where we play the best music 24 hours a day. At Giant
A little
Discount
cold
Bookstore,
bubbly
we
and
discount
blue
every
cheese
title
is about all
50%.
Gabriel's
When you
fridge
see our
ever
selection
has
and
in it.
prices, you'll never want to shop with those little guys again. The Trio Grandans will hold their annual Gardenia Festival in tea this coming Tuesday at the Sons of Burgundy
Gabriel,
Hall.
shut that refrigerator,
Admission is
please.
free.
Oh, I can smell
Do
it
you
from
have men
here.
problems?
Whim.
Someone put a hex on you? Call Sister Cross. Through the power of love and the Lord Jesus Christ, she can fix what ails you.
I want you to take hold of your prayer cloak.
There's a flashlight on the
Take
dresser.
hold of your radio.
The building's
and let's
wiring
do
leaves a
miracle.
lot to be
But
desired.
first, I want to talk about doing what's right. Those of you who are out there listening to these radio waves of comfort,
I might need a flashlight.
you know what I'm talking about. Every day this program reaches out into the darkness and pulls lost
The
souls
closet
from
is
the grasp
loaded
of
with
the
white
devil himself.
t-shirts.
Oh,
There's one
but
black
now I
button
don't
down
have to tell you
for
that the
those
Lord's
fancy
work does
occasions.
not come cheap, my friend. So I want
The
you to
closet
get
is loaded.
Right now, take out an envelope, fill it with whatever you can, and send it today. We both know that doing what's
I
right.
might be able to
I
use this
ask you,
black
my
shirt.
friend, have you done your share today? Or are you being carried by those dedicated souls who support this
The
ministry
dresser holds
with
a
their
meager
generous
supply
gifts
of
and
underwear
offerings?
and 38
Remember, my
pairs of
friend, faith
mismatched
that
socks.
costs nothing, does nothing.
Let
Simply
sleeping
send your
lions
gifts
lie.
of faith to
I got that
Reverend
sheep
Bob,
at a
and
garage
your
sale.
name will
Always
be
had a thing for
blessed.
lions.
Hallelujah. That's it for this week, friends. Enjoy
It's Gabriel's
the wonderful,
bed.
wonderful music, and may God watch over you.
You're listening
It's
to
no use.
KLEB in Knowledge,
I can't sleep.
where we play the best music 24 hours a day.
Gabriel
At
couldn't
Giant
pay those
Discount
bills when they were
Bookstore, we
due,
discount
and he
every
can't pay
title
them now.
50%. When you see our selection and prices,
The
you'll
medicine
never wanna
cabinet
shop with
contains a
those
few
little
old
guys
prescriptions, personal
The Trio
hygiene
Grandans will
stuff,
hold their annual
and lots
Gardenia
of hair
Festival in tea
products.
this coming Tuesday at the Sons of Burgundy Hall. Admission is free.
I want you to take hold of your prayer clothes.
I'll
Better
take
yet,
this hair
take hold
gel.
of your radio.
You never
and
know when
let's
you'll need
do
a touch-up.
miracle. But first, I want to talk about doing what's right. Those of you who are out there listening to these radio waves of comfort, you
The phone
know
is
what I'm
cheap,
talking
but
about.
functional.
Every day this program reaches out into the darkness and pulls lost souls from the grasp of the devil himself. Oh, but now I don't have to tell you that the Lord's work does not come cheap, my friend. So I want you to get up right now. Take out an envelope, fill it with whatever you can, and send it today. We both know that doing what's right. I ask you, my
I'll
friend,
pass.
have you done your share today? Or are you being carried by those dedicated souls who support this ministry with their generous gifts and offerings? Remember, my friend, faith that costs nothing does nothing. Simply send your gifts of faith to Reverend Bob, and your name will be blessed. Hallelujah. That's it for this week, friends. Enjoy the wonderful, wonderful music, and may God watch over you.
You're listening to KLEB in Knowledge, where we play the best music 24 hours a day. Do you have men problems? Someone put a hex on you? Call Sister Cross. Through the power of love and the Lord Jesus Christ, she can fix what ailing you.
Grace's coat is a simple but classic trench coat. Gabriel hates people with good taste. Dramatic, isn't it? Gabriel didn't eat for 3 weeks after splurging on that coat. He has a thing for black leather.
Leave my coat alone, Gabriel.
I'm going out.
Don't hurry back on my account.
The Dixieland drugstore is closed until tomorrow morning.
I should add Mosley to the hat. That window leads to Mosley's office.
If Gabriel wants to talk to Mosley, he can go in through the front door. Handsome, isn't he?
You've already got me, you lucky devil. Don't get personal. Knight. Gabriel Knight. In case someone wants to know.
It's another municipal building. Those motorcycles belong to the precinct. They're not nearly as cool as Gabriel's bike. That's Moses. That's Moses. The front windows have iron half grills on them, as if anyone would try to break into a police station. The police station. Interesting design for a trash can. Must have been on sale at Cops R Us. A portrait of the Narlands Chief of Police, a fine, upstanding citizen. In other words, nothing like Gabriel. A uniformed officer of the NOPD.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey.
hey.
The desk sergeant looks like a poster boy for heart disease. 30 extra pounds between his armpits and his belt, and a complexion the consistency of gray oatmeal. In other words, a typical product of good Southern cooking.
Got a second, officer?
What can I do you for?
What do you know about voodoo?
Me? Nothing. I'm a Catholic boy.
What can you tell me about the voodoo murders?
I'm not allowed to give out information on police cases.
What can you tell me about...
Hey, buddy, do I look like the kind of lowlife that'd betray my sacred oath to this department?
I don't know. What would that kind of lowlife look like?
Like hamburger meat if I got a hold of them. Kinda like what you're gonna look like in about 5 seconds.
Okay. Sorry I asked. What can you tell me about Nolans?
I'll tell you, I'm glad as hell it's not Mardi Gras. If it weren't for that 1 month a year, being a cop in Nolans would be a real pleasure. As it is, I'd rather stick behind this desk.
What can you tell me about Nolans?
Best food in the world. You can get it right here in Nolans. Muffaletta sandwiches. Beignets, good Cajun coffee. Yep, a man can die happy in this city.
It's practically guaranteed. I was supposed to pick up some photos from Detective Mosley at the front desk.
Is that right? And who are you?
My name is Knight. Gabriel Knight.
Yeah, I got something for you, all right. As soon as you're done talking, I'll give it to you.
I'm here to see Detective Mosley.
He's out at a crime scene. Sorry.
I'm here to... Where's the crime scene? Is it related to the voodoo murders?
Crime scene information is police confidential. We don't need any more looky-loos than are probably already there.
Come on, you can tell me where the crime scene is.
Look, I know the paper's got everybody stirred up about these killings, but that don't make it public information. Back off.
So this is a new voodoo murder then?
Hey, I didn't say that. You'll read all about it in the papers tomorrow. I'm sure.
Please tell me where the crime scene is.
Look, buddy, you keep it up, and there'll be a crime scene right here.
Tell me about yourself.
Who, me? I'm the desk sergeant, Frick. Why?
Frick?
That's right. You got a problem with that?
Not at all. Tell me about yourself.
You see that front door?
Yeah?
Well, I watch people come in. See this book?
Yeah?
Well, I write people's names in it, see? People that bother me. Want me to put your name in this book?
Oh, I think not.
That's what I thought.
Tell me about...
I hate people who ask stupid questions.
Hey, nice precinct.
Think so, huh? That's peachy. That means more to me than you could know.
Kinda quiet in here today.
Summer's like that. Too muggy to mug, too hot to heft.
How clever.
It's a gift.
So, what's new around the old police station?
Well, we're now allowed to shoot chatty pedestrians on sight.
That sounds convenient.
I like it.
Excuse me.
Whatever it is, here's that envelope for you, Gabriel Knight.
Thanks.
The envelope from Mosley is a plain manila one. It feels pretty light. Gabriel opens the manila envelope and finds 2 photographs. The photograph of Mosley was apparently taken upon his graduation from the police academy. He had hair then. One of the photos from Mosley is an official Voodoo Murders crime scene shot, a graphic close-up of a victim. One of the photos from Mosley is an official Voodoo Murders crime scene shot, a graphic close-up of a victim. The photograph of Mosley was apparently taken. A police officer is either off-duty or patrolling the park, or both.
Good day, officer.
Yeah, you too. Keep moving.
Coroner requests assistance to...
A police officer. Gabriel prefers his own bike.
You white-faced geek, you want to eat my fist?
That jazz band is pretty good. The band isn't paying any attention to Gabriel.
I don't need any flowers. I would if I had...
Anyone see
Hey there.
The drummer does not.
You white-faced geek, you want to eat my fist?
Knock it off, you, before I shove this washboard down your throat.
Well, I never! Leave me alone, you man!
He's
You
not my
white-faced
type.
geek, you want to eat my fist?
People seem to be enjoying.
The sign says the overlook...
Okay. Since Gabriel can't read, it's one of those mines.
Hey, bro. Nice horse.
A bronze statue of Andrew Jackson marks the...
Well, I never! Leave me alone, you man!
Don't get personal.
You white-faced geek, you want to eat my fist?
Hey, cut that out. I told you to stop that. All right, mister, you want some of this? Why, you little...
Gabriel picks up the headset and listens.
Ambulance 91, have you located the crime scene? They've radioed for you 3 times. Did you say it was north of the Lake Retreat Country Club? South, Lakeside Drive, north of the Piedmont Pier, south of the Country Club. Man, I don't know if it's the clouds out here today or what. Good thing this guy's already dead. Everyone's having trouble. Must have been hallucinogens in the coffee this morning. It's just so misty out here or something. Hey, I see a squad car. I got it, Molly. Thank God. Have a good one, 91.
Interesting.
Hey, you, get away from that bike.
Sorry. Hey, Mostly.
Huh? Knight, you wiener, I told you not to call me that.
Feeling jumpy?
Who, me? Don't be stupid. How'd you find me?
Oh, I was just driving by.
Uh-huh. Well, I guess I can let you see it for the book, but don't tell anyone, huh? Definitely another voodoo murder. Same MO and no freaking clues. We're still waiting on an ID for the body.
Oh, that's disgusting. Isn't this a rather public area for this kind of thing?
Yeah, they're freaking ghosts, these guys. Lakeshore Drive isn't exactly the 10 expressway, but it is open to the public. No reports of nothing. Now, who the hell is that? Good day, Miss Getty.
What's going on, officer?
Detective Mosley, ma'am. We got a little problem here, but nothing for you to be concerned about.
I see. Thank you, Detective. And good day, gentlemen.
I'm in love.
Forget it. That's Molly at Getty. She's about as far out of your reach as the moon. Probably on her way to meet some guy with a yacht right now.
Near here?
The lake's a popular place for country clubs.
If she's out here a lot, maybe she saw something or heard something.
Nah, nobody ever sees or hears nothing. I told you. Besides, you just don't go around bothering people like her.
We've about wrapped it up, sir.
Well, let's get the meat wagon moving then. Stick around and take notes for the book if you want. Watch out for the muck and the water moccasins, though. If you want to talk, I'll be at the station tomorrow.
Thanks. Ugh, that's a lot of blood. No, I've got no way to take that with me, and I don't want to.
There's a pattern to the lines in the sand, but only one small area is clearly defined.
Let me try to copy this down.
Gabriel is on the sand and clay shores of Lake Pontchartrain, at a site where some poor bastard got to see who the voodoo murderers really are.
Looks like there was something here. I should take a closer look.
The marks are actually deep indentations in a regular mesh pattern. Something small and iridescent is barely visible in the sand. It looks like a scale of some sort. The scale is too dense. Gabriel carefully uses the tweezers to take the small, iridescent scale.
I think it's a snake scale, but it beats the hell out of me what kind.
Gabriel is... There's nothing worth There's nothing... The banks of Lake Pont...
I'll I'll take some of this clay with me.
The partial pattern from Lake Pontchartrain is impressive. It measures 24 miles across and stretches as far as the eye can see. Lake Pontchartrain is scenic, but you really wouldn't want to swim in it. Lakeshore Drive runs around the entire lake. This is a particularly lonely stretch, but it's still a public road.
Can I bother you again?
What is it this time?
What can you tell me about snakes?
What does this look like? A zoo? Never mind, don't answer that. No, I don't know nothing about no snakes.
I'm here to see Detective Mosley.
He left for the...
Hey, Grace, here I am.
Oh boy, party time.
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Could you do some research for me?
Sure, what?
Could you see what you can find out about a woman named Malia Getty?
The name Getty sounds familiar. What's your interest in her?
Oh, just, stuff about the voodoo murders. If you can get an address.
The murders, right. I'll see what I can find out. Well, it's about closing time.
So it is. Good night, Gracie.
Good night, Gabriel. And try not to dream, okay? Good morning. Don't you look swell today? Actually, swollen. So have some. There's a fresh pot on the table. Seriously, you look like hell. Your hair is sticking straight up like a... Oh, it always does that. Never mind.
Ha ha.
Did you dream about the fire and the hanged guy and that lion thing last night?
Leopard, not lion. Did you get anything on Malia Getty?
Well, I did get her address, but you're a little out of your league here, big fella. The Gettys own 3 local hospitals, just to name a few of their assets. They run in very high circles.
Did you get an address?
I got the address. I suppose this has nothing to do with the fact that Malia Getty is incredibly gorgeous. I should have known you wouldn't go for a rich, ugly socialite.
And that address is?
Hey, far be it from me to postpone your total humiliation. It's 557 West Ingram. That's the Garden District. Estate City.
That's all I wanted to know. And yes, my dear, Malia Getty is the most dangerous-looking diversion I have ever seen. Ouch.
Ugh, men.
Times dated June 19th, 1993. A front-page article describes the most recent of the voodoo murders. Gabriel scans it but learns nothing new. The article reiterates that the voodoo aspect of the crime is faked. Gabriel shivers. It looked real enough to him. Elsewhere, there's an article about the history of Jackson Square, called the Plaza d'Armes under French rule. It was used for executions, firing squads, hangings, even impalement and breaking on the wheel. Yikes! Of course, these days, it's mostly a hangout for tourists, street musicians, and local artists. Gabriel also scans the Aquarius horoscope for the day. Chances of a dark star rising on this day. Do not trust your instincts.
I feel a dark star rising, all right. Rawr. Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Do you know anything about snakes?
Doing a family tree, Gabriel?
Very funny. I mean real snakes, you know, scaly, cold-blooded. I would have thought you'd find them empathetic.
Mm-hmm. I know very little about reptiles of any kind, and prefer to keep it that way. I think there's a book on snakes around here somewhere, though.
Okay, thanks. Got a minute?
What's up?
Do you? I've got some things I need.
Good luck.
Hello? Huh?
Bonjour, Monsieur Walker.
Bienvenue, Madame Casano. Comment ça va? How you be feeling today?
Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Walker. I'm certain someone's buried a sleep knot bag somewhere near my steps. I haven't slept a wink, not in weeks.
Now don't that beat all. I'll need some easy night candles then, huh?
Do you think that would help? I do hope you're right. I said 3 rosaries this morning for Our Lady's intervention.
Rosary good, sure enough, but you burn them candles too, boy, you gonna whip any no-sleep gree-gree, I tell you for sure.
Very well, Mr. Walker. Put them on my account and send them around to my house. Oh, and there's another thing. I didn't catch her at it, but I know. Mrs. Lefebvre put stomachache powder in my tea at the last meeting of the Creole Grand Dame. I've been in misery.
Now you put 9 pinheads up in the little box. Add a pinch of graveyard dust. Put it up under her front post step. That'll turn the trick back on Miss Lefebvre, and she be the one with the bellyache. I got the pins of dust right here if you want them.
If the Blessed Virgin will grant me her protection, I'll be safe from these practitioners of evil.
Oui, madame. Though, don't hurt to be proactive neither now, does it?
Naturellement, monsieur. Merci beaucoup.
Mais non, madame. It's nothing. Au revoir.
Au revoir, Monsieur Walker.
The sign says, Special St. John's Eve Lagnia. Free bottle of lover come back to me oil, or master gambling oil with every purchase over $50.
Lagniappe. My French is lousy, but everyone in New Orleans knows what that means. A little something extra.
It's nearly as old as the one at St. George's. The Dixieland drugstore has a rather terrifying way of dealing with shoplifters. The shelf holds containers of dried items, flowers, grasses, and black cat bones. It's a mannequin wearing a crocodile mask. The mask appears to be made from a real crocodile head. To get the mask, root bags, curio boxes, and magic candles. Sold as curios only. We cannot guarantee results. The poster advertises a voodoo play from last fall. The Dixieland drugstore is crammed from top to bottom with strange merchandise, some or all of which seem to be related to the practice of voodoo. On this shelf are super-concentrated fixing oils and a rib cage? Gabriel really doesn't want to ask. Herbal oils for love, luck, power, and success. The proprietor doesn't look especially friendly. His business probably doesn't depend on walk-ins. Garlic, cloves, and other dried goods and spices are collected in the bowls.
I know where to come if I ever have a vampire problem. Hi there. Is this your store?
This the Dixieland drugstore. And I own it. Me. Name's Walker. Willie Walker.
Can you tell me what you know about voodoo?
This is a novelty shop, monsieur.
Do you think I'm stupid? This is a voodoo shop. Look at all this stuff.
These is novelties, curiosities. If people want to think they magic, it's not my concern, you know?
Are you telling me that you own a voodoo shop, but you know nothing about voodoo practices?
Ça n'est pas ça faire blanc.
What does that mean?
It means you should mind your own business, monsieur.
Look, I'm researching voodoo for a book.
I don't have your answers, me. You want to buy something, monsieur?
What do you know about the voodoo murders? What did you say?
Nothing. Them killings have nothing to do with my shop, monsieur.
What do you think of New Orleans?
I live here all my life, me.
What are you thinking?
If you're not from around here, monsieur, you should sign up for some tours.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
It's the biggest night of the year in voodoo.
What goes on exactly?
I couldn't say.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
The only one left is Willie Jr. over there, the old crocodile. He's sort of a mascot now, him.
Do you know anything about snakes?
What kind of snakes?
The kind they use in voodoo?
Pythons, boas, so I've heard.
Really? Do you have one?
Are you crazy? What would I want with a python?
What did you mean when you said Capri Sanko?
I didn't say that.
You did. I heard you say it.
You heard wrong, monsieur. I said no such thing.
That customer of yours, the little old lady.
Customer?
The woman I saw in here, Madame Casino, you called her.
I don't talk about my customers to men who come in off the street.
It's important that I talk to Madame Casino. You see, I'm doing some research and...
I can't tell you anything about her.
Tell me about yourself.
My name's Willie Walker. I own the place.
How did you get into this kind of business?
Now, why should I discuss my business with you, man?
About Willie Jr. Would you be willing to let him go?
Maybe. For $100.
$100? You gotta be kidding.
Me and Willie Jr. are very close now. I couldn't part with him for less.
Would you take 50 for Willie Jr.?
Don't insult me, monsieur. The price is $120.
What? You said you'd sell it for 100 before.
You misheard, monsieur. The price was always $120.
Would you take 50 for Willie Jr.?
Don't insult me, monsieur.
What? So?
Voodoo? No, man. This a curio shop. Things you see here from local folklore. None of it real, I tell you for sure.
What about all these magic oils and powders you're selling? Aren't they a part of voodoo?
Read the label, man. We make no claims. Sold as curio only. It mean what it say, no? These are novelties, not voodoo.
So, do you get many...
We, all the time. They want to buy a bottle of money-drawn oil or wang a bag to take home with them.
How's business?
About like always.
I'm a businessman, too. I own a bookstore here in the quarter.
I don't really care, me. I got a store to run.
Have you always lived?
My papa, and his papa, and his papa, all the way back to the days of Marie Laveau, we've been living here.
So, does any of this stuff actually work?
You crazy, man?
Welcome, my friend. Hello. I am the proprietor, Dr. John. If you have any questions, I would be happy to assist.
Great. My name is Knight, and I'll probably take you up on that.
The voodoo shrine is filled with items that both fascinate Gabriel and also make his skin crawl.
They lend a certain psychotic ambiance, no? This coffin is so small. A waste of some perfectly good wine, if you ask me.
Gabriel can't see.
It wouldn't be much of a voodoo museum without a voodoo doll. Magenta Moonbeam. Voodoo Inn.
A flyer advertising Magenta Moonbeam, a local voodoo inn. Her parlor is on the corner of Orleans and Dauphine.
Well, that looks sacrilegious. Reminds me of a book critic for the New York Times.
Flickering candles lend an appropriately spooky atmosphere to the museum. The back wall displays various voodoo items, such as offerings of fruits to the voodoo deities. The back, an African statue laden with decorations.
Now, why does that remind me of Grace?
That must be Marie Laveau. Something about the shape of that knife gives Gabriel the creeps. An official voodoo wishing stump. Rub it and make a wish, a card says.
Funny, I say the same thing to women. I wish Malia Getty were mine forever. Really, I mean it.
What was that?
Oh, nothing. I wish Malia Getty. I wish I had $1 million. I wish my publisher would actually promote one of my novels for a change. I wish Grace were as hot as she looks. I wish I could afford to take Gran on a cruise. I wish my voodoo book hits the bestseller list. I wish I had something better to rub than this stupid stump. I wish Molly had really...
What was that?
Huh?
An authentic-looking pole marks the center of the room. Authentic what? Gabriel isn't sure. A beaded gourd is on display. The back, bottles of... The back, lots of... The back, a goddess. The back, a Cupid statue.
It's nice to know voodoo has a romantic side.
The back, offerings of fruits. A very large, very formidable-looking snake is secured in a plexiglass cage.
The python is quite dangerous. I would stay back if I were you.
Thanks for the advice. Could I ask you a few questions?
That is why I am here.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Historical voodoo, or the voodoo currently practiced in the city.
Tell me about historical voodoo.
Very well. I will start at the beginning, Mr. Knight, and will go on from there at your prompting.
Sounds good.
As you may know, voodoo is a grassroots religion, formed by the mixing together of many different African tribal religions and Anglo religions, such as Catholicism or Protestantism. In other words, it is a religion born of the African slave trade. But African slaves were imported not only by the United States, but also into the West Indies, where the French and Spanish ran plantation islands. Prior to 1803, the New Orleans area was owned by France. The French Creole in those days owned many African slaves. But the Creole did not permit their slaves to gather, giving no chance for voodoo to breed here natively. The Creole also knew enough about the corrupted pagan practices of the West Indies slaves to ban the importings of slaves from that region.
So how did voodoo come to New Orleans?
After the Louisiana Purchase, American legislators relaxed regulations. Slaves were permitted to gather. The Americans also removed the ban on West Indies slaves. Around the same time, a slave revolt occurred in Santo Domingo, what is now Haiti. Between the lifting of the ban and the Haitian Revolt, West Indies slaves began pouring into New Orleans. Some of them were free people of color, freed or escaped slaves. Some came with their white owners who were fleeing from the revolt.
What happened when the West Indies slaves got here?
They brought voodoo with them. The native slaves were more than enthusiastic about embracing it. It gave them power, Mr. Knight. If only in the form of a communal bond. Among the first meeting places were the Bayou St. John and the shore of Lake Pontchartrain. The early voodoos were heavy snake worshippers, worshipping the one they called the Great Zombie.
Tell me more about historical voodoo.
By 1817, the voodoo activities were beginning to cause fear among the white slave owners. An ordinance was passed to forbid slave gatherings except in designated public areas at designated times. The time was Sunday afternoons, and the place, Congo Square. The slaves and free people of color gathered to dance simulations of their voodoo dances, right in sight of Creole society. Of course, they also continued to meet in private for the real thing.
Tell me more about historical voodoo.
There were a variety of kings and queens at first, voodoo priests and priestesses. But from about 1830, a single power emerged. This was a voodoo queen named Marie Laveau. Marie Laveau ruled voodoo in New Orleans for many years.
Tell me about current voodoo.
Many people think of voodoo in terms of magic spells or gree-gree. That kind of practice is actually called hoodoo and is only a part of true voodoo. Voodoo, the religion, has a strong following in New Orleans. In fact, it is growing quite rapidly. There are several voodoo churches or temples in the city, and others all across the United States. African Americans see it as a tradition all their own. Whites, and there are many in the religion, are attracted to it because they think it is exotic. I personally am more interested in the history of voodoo. Some of the new movements are copying Haitian or even African voodoo. But it is the voodoo of New Orleans that I find so intriguing.
Tell me about Marie Laveau.
There were actually two Marie Laveaus, mother and daughter. Most people thought they were the same woman. Her continued youth added to the mystique. The original, the mother, was also known as Widow Paris. It was she that began the empire.
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
The Laveau tomb where one or both of the Maries are believed to be buried, is in St. Louis Cemetery Number 1. It is a popular shrine for practitioners and tourists alike. I myself take tours through the cemetery on a regular basis.
Really? Do you have any running this week?
No, but the cemetery is open to the general public as well.
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
When the widow Paris began to practice, there were many voodooians in the city. By 1830, she was voodoo queen of all New Orleans. The widow Paris was a hairdresser for rich Creole ladies. She also paid household servants to spy for her. Between the two, she knew everything about everyone who mattered in New Orleans. She was not above using her information to appear psychic, to intimidate, or even to blackmail.
You sound as though you admire her.
For a black woman in the mid-1800s to gain power is an incredible thing, Mr. Knight. However she achieved it.
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
She kept a pet snake, danced with it too. She held traditional voodoo ceremonies out by the lake. She took herself seriously, very seriously. But she was not above selling tickets for her events to curiosity seekers. She was not above using voodoo any way she could to make money. That is for certain. But if she had been in another line of work, in another age, that would have been interpreted as entrepreneurial genius, rather than a sign of fraudulence.
Hey, you don't need to convince me. I admire anyone that can actually make a living. Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
It was Marie Laveau who defined the voodoo that is truly and uniquely the voodoo of New Orleans. She invented hundreds, if not thousands, of spells, potions, charms, and incantations. These form the basis of the modern practice, not to mention the folk tradition of hoodoo.
Tell me more.
Her daughter, Marie Glapion, took over when Widow Paris got old. Most people thought it was the same Marie Laveau. Both Maries encouraged that point of view. The Widow Paris died in 1881. Marie Glapion had been reigning a long time by then. After the death of the Widow Paris, other voodoo queens surfaced, and by 1890, the cult was fragmented again. Marie Glapion just sort of faded away.
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
You have heard everything about Marie Laveau that a layman might expect to understand.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
The killings in the newspaper. I know they have nothing to do with true voodoo in New Orleans.
What makes you think the voodoo murders aren't being done by local practitioners?
Voodoo is a popular boogeyman, Mr. Knight, especially in New Orleans. Anyone can pretend to use it, just as anyone can pretend to be a black belt in karate. And for the same reason, to intimidate. I know voodoo in this city, Mr. Knight, and believe me, it is not about killing. Even the police have stated that the killings have nothing to do with local voodoo.
So you know nothing about the voodoo murders case?
I neither know nor care to know, Mr. Knight. My only possible interest is in how it might affect the public's attitude towards the museum. So far, it has not been an issue. No one has even had the bad taste to bring it up. Until you, that is.
What do you think of New Orleans?
It is the only city in the United States, as far as I am concerned.
What is it about New Orleans that you so admire?
It has a real culture of its own, Mr. Knight. Amid the horrid blandness that is Americana, New Orleans alone has a voice.
Spoken like a true New Orleanian. What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
It is one of the important ceremonial nights in voodoo.
What else can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
I am afraid I do not know the origin.
Do you know what Caprice and Call means?
I fear my French is not all it should be, Mr. Knight.
Do you know anything about snakes?
You have perhaps noticed the museum snake, Mr. Knight? They are beautiful creatures. Do you not agree? And the tourists seem to associate them with voodoo.
Is this snake yours? Do you use it in your practice of voodoo?
I admire the spirit of the snake, Mr. Knight. But snakes like the museums can be quite dangerous to handle.
You didn't really answer my question.
I think I did, Mr. Knight.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
I used to have some antique African totem masks, but they were on the point of disintegration, so I removed them.
Are you sure you can't educate me further about animal masks?
Unfortunately, I do not know much about totem masks. The practice was more African than American, and that is not my area of expertise.
Okay, thanks. Tell me about yourself.
Me?
Yes, if you don't mind.
What is it you wish to learn?
Why did you open a voodoo museum?
The subject has fascinated me all my life, and I wanted to help preserve the cultural heritage it represents.
What kind of background in voodoo do you have?
Let us just say I cut my teeth on it, Mr. Knight. It is in my blood.
Do you do anything besides run the museum?
No. The museum does not make me a rich man, but my material needs are simple. I prefer to focus on my one true interest in life.
What are your own religious beliefs?
My beliefs are too personal and too complex to discuss with a layman, Mr. Knight.
Just tell me anything.
I am originally from the West Indies myself, you know.
Really? What brought you to New Orleans?
I was drawn here for personal reasons.
Just tell me.
I am a vegetarian.
Really? I can't imagine living without meat.
That must be the hunter in you, Mr. Knight.
Just tell...
I am not an easy person to get to know. I am a very private man.
Isn't that unusual for someone in the museum business?
Not at all. My displays speak for me.
Just tell...
Not everyone can come see the museum, so I occasionally do public speaking on the subject of historical voodoo.
Anything coming up that I might attend?
No. But then you have me all to yourself right now, do you not?
Actually,
Then let us discuss something else.
Are you...
I've given...
What exactly is hoodoo?
Hoodoo refers to magic folk traditions of the South. Hoodoo is a bastard of voodoo. Many of the Gree are similar, but hoodoo does not have the religious aspects of voodoo.
So how's the museum business?
Those who truly seek to understand are few, Mr. Knight. But even one can be an audience.
Sounds about like my shop. So where do you pick up all this stuff?
Oh, here and there. We accept donations of any pertinent items.
Do you ever get any wackos in here?
You mean besides yourself?
Yeah, besides me.
I do not care to make those kinds of judgments, Mr. Knight. All are welcome here.
You're a big guy, aren't you? You work out, play sports?
I do not play basketball, if that is what you want to know.
Who, me? No, you just look like such a natural athlete.
I do find ways of keeping fit, Mr. Knight. After all, our bodies are temples.
You sound like Grace. I should get the two of you together.
Is Grace your wife?
No, she just acts like it. So what do you think of our summer weather? Have you ever seen it so overcast or so muggy?
It is unpleasant. The heavens are not pleased these days.
Nice outfit.
I prefer simple cotton to dead flesh, Mr. Knight.
I'll have to remember that. This is quite a...
Thank you, Mr. Knight. I have dedicated myself to the preservation of this unique culture. It is gratifying to see others reap the fruits I have sown.
What does this do?
Turn that thing off.
Oh, sorry.
We have air conditioning, you see.
Yeah, I see. Thanks a lot. Bye now.
Come back again.
A sign on the front door of magenta. An old man tends the cemetery with movements akin to a slow drawl.
Hello there. Got a sec?
Go ahead. These folks ain't in no hurry.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
They say it was part of an old religion from Africa, brought here by slaves.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
I don't really care to talk.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Isn't it just awful, them finding those bodies with the voodoo things around them? I don't think there's any real voodoo going on. Somebody trying to cover their tracks is all.
What do you know?
I told you all I know about that.
What can you tell me about Nolans?
Seem like everyone wants to visit Nolans at least once in their lives. And they love the cemetery tours. I see tourists in here every day of the year.
What can you tell me about Nolans?
There are lots of things to see here, but none as beautiful as St. Louis Cemetery number 1. If you want to know more, you should ask someone else.
Do you know anything about snakes?
Snakes? I see snakes around here all the time. Most of them aren't poisonous, of course. I don't mind snakes myself, but lots of folks are afraid of them.
Do you know any...
I told you.
What's the significance of St. John's Eve?
Well, St. John the Baptist is the patron saint of voodoo. Sometimes we get weird goings-on in the cemetery on that night. More often on a few nights before. People taking grave dirt, bones, and who know what.
That's pretty disgusting.
Yep. Don't know what they do with them, but it can't be pretty.
What?
I told you.
Do you have any idea what Capri Saint-Call means?
Nope. Can't say that I do.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
Sure. She was the voodoo queen of Nolans. A powerful voodooian and a powerful sorcerer. Believers still come to her tomb, you know. They write secret marks on the walls, leave offerings. Then there's the tourists. They come out of curiosity. As a matter of fact, that big Dr. John fella from that voodoo museum, he's here at least once a day. But Marie Laveau's tomb isn't the only one the believers visit and make markings and leave offerings at.
What else can...
Her tomb's on all our tours. Even the Baptists come around here to go. Of course, you may not know this, but some of the real serious voodoo types argue that she ain't in this one at all. Down in the unmarked tomb in number 3. It's all the same to me, I say. Saved me a lot of cleanup work if she weren't here, if you ask me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Tell me about yourself.
My name is Toussaint Gervais. I'm the watchman here at St. Louis number 1.
What exactly do you do here?
Oh, I keep the place tidy, of course. A big part of my job, too, is looking out for the grievers. People come to pay their respects, and they need looking out for. Sometimes they so grief-bound, they don't know what they doing.
Tell me about yourself.
That's about all there is to say.
Tell me something.
You know why the dead are buried in tombs and not in the ground, don't you? The water table's too high. Them coffins will float right out of their grave. Them dead will go floating right down into the Calder. Of course, if it were Mardi Gras, nobody'd even notice. It's a historical place. People buried in here from the Civil War. Back further, too. Take a look around. You'll see.
Tell me something about St. Louis.
Just look around. You'll get the feel of the place.
You said there were other mock tombs?
Yep. I've seen bull hearts left on tombs and a nest of vulture feathers, plates of peas and congreve, animal parts, human parts even, it look like. Male parts, if you get my meaning. And this is one of the great family crypts, mind you. Odd, have them types just pick a spot and stick to it.
What other tombs got marked? Can you show me?
No, I ain't one for naming names. I don't like to encourage that kind of thing. It's distressing to the families, and rightly so.
You been working here a long time?
Longer than you've been alive, son. I may perhaps be here longer than you'll be alive, for that matter.
Kind of a quiet job you've got, isn't it?
Most of the time, yeah. They act up some at the full moon, though.
You must enjoy the company of dead folks.
Unlike the living, they ain't never given no reason to dislike them none.
How's business today?
About like every day. It's what you call a seller's market.
Odd-looking marks adorn the Laveau tomb wall.
I want a copy of these strange marks.
The wall doesn't work. The wall doesn't... Gabriel can't... The marks are reddish in color and remind Gabriel of crosses. They look like they've been here a few days at least. Near the Laveau tomb is a piece of red brick. Gabriel likes the idea of leaving marks on the tomb, but at the moment, he's not sure what to say or how to say it. Here and there in the cemetery, straggly plants grow in stone planters. The marble denizens of the cemetery only stare back blankly. This old tomb is in a... There's probably no one left in... The imposing tomb is elaborately labeled Getty. There's a small marble plate near the tomb doors. The plate is in locked position. There's a keyhole on the plate, but Gabriel can't operate that without a key. Two enormous vases flank the front of the Getty tomb. A stone angel leans. Most of the plaster...
I don't need to go visit the family tomb today. I don't need to go visit... May I help you? I'd like to see Malia Getty, please.
I'm sorry, but unless you have an appointment or official business, I cannot announce you.
I'd really like...
I told you that...
I do have official business.
Really? Please tell me the nature of your business.
Encyclopedias,
Go away.
Got a second, officer?
What can I do you?
I'm here to see Detective Mosley.
He's in his office. Go on back.
Gabriel can't do that for...
She's not bad. Excuse me, officer.
Yes?
Could you get me some coffee?
Are you speaking to me?
Why, yes.
Wow, Deja, leave it to Beaver. I'm the police photographer, sir. You might be able to find someone around here dumb enough to get coffee for you, but it won't be me.
Oh, thanks anyway.
I can give you precise instructions for the handling of hot liquids if you need them.
No thanks. So, what's it like being a policewoman?
The glamour never ceases.
You know, that uniform looks great on you.
Uh-huh. Is that a compliment or are you asking to borrow my dress?
It's a compliment.
Well, you just never know around here. Thanks, but I'm married.
Oh, never mind.
Fine, I'll get back to work.
Detective Mosley. Hard at work, I see.
Yeah. What is it, you wanker? Dang air conditioning must be on the blink.
Mosley's bookcase holds old magazines and binders. Mosley was one of those beefy guys. At least he's taken off the... That's funny. The window is a mirror on the other side. Mosley's desk has more growing on it than his head. A microwave? If Gabriel knows Mosley, it's used exclusively for frozen corn dogs. Whatever goes into those files never comes out.
Can I ask you about some stuff?
You're the writer. Ask away.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
There's voodoo that goes on in this city, sure. I looked into it a bit at the beginning of this case, but the voodoo stuff found at the crime scenes is all faked. It doesn't have anything to do with the real stuff. I know. I asked some experts. It's intimidation tactics, that's all.
What else can you tell me about voodoo?
I told you, don't worry about that part of it. It's all faked.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Lots. Can you be more specific?
Do you know anything about the killers?
At least 20 people attend the killings. We know this from the variety of footprints found at the scenes.
Footprints? Aren't those as good as fingerprints?
Can be, but we'd have to have a suspect in custody first. And the suspect would have to match one of the few distinct prints we have. Most of the footprints are smudged, trodden over, unreadable. These guys are so casual in their expertise, it's maddening. Like they know we'll never find them.
How many murders have there been so far?
7 murders have so far been linked to the voodoo murders case. The first murder occurred about 8 weeks ago. The MO is the same in each murder. Lake Pontchartrain was the 7th.
What kind of evidence have you found?
No fingerprints, a few bare footprints. Found a few fibers, but not many. The weirdest one was leopard fur.
Leopard fur. Describe the crime scenes.
Well, there's the corpse itself, minus the heart. Around where the body was killed, we find marks and flour and blood. There are traces of wax from candles, red and black. Ordinary wax candles, so the lab reports. Also blood and feathers of chickens, and goat's blood. And plenty of the victim's own, of course.
What's the coroner say?
The victim's heart is always ripped out of the chest and missing. We haven't located a single one of them.
Lovely. Any idea what they do with them?
Don't even want to know. Also, the coroner says some of the victims had heart attacks before the incision. Literally scared to death. The knife wounds are consistent with a long, narrow, wavy-edged knife. Probably a ritualistic dagger.
Any witnesses?
Nope. There's never been a single witness. No one's even heard a disturbance. It's damned weird. Like they just don't want people to see. And so nobody sees nothing.
Know anything about the victims?
The victims are all out-of-towners. We still don't know why.
Oh, nothing.
Sure. Okay. Anything else?
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
Is she that red-headed chick that works at Freddy's?
No.
Then I don't know her.
What can you tell me about Nolens?
You and me grew up here together. You tell me. It's a pretty nice place, even seeing the stuff I see, you know. The Carter's getting a bit too wild, though. Getting hard to control. Not quite what it was when you and me used to hang here, but hell, I've never known anything else.
What can you tell me about Nolens?
I'm too sentimental.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
Animal masks? You mean like those Halloween masks they sometimes use in robberies?
I don't think so. More like real animals.
Never ran across anything like that.
Do you know anything about snakes?
The only thing I know about snakes is that I don't like them.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
That's coming up, isn't it? We get some occasional weirdness in the quarter, but nothing much. Used to have a lot of strange things happen, though, or so I hear.
What else can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
I don't know much except what...
Does the phrase Capri Sanko mean anything to you?
Hell no! Is that French? My mother spoke it, but I always had a hard enough time just speaking English.
True enough. Tell me about yourself.
For the book?
Sure, why not?
Okay. What do you want to know?
How do you like working on the police force?
Are you kidding? You know I love being a cop. And Narlands, it's the best place in the world to be one.
What are your plans for the future?
Well, you know, I don't like to count my chickens before they're hatched, but I don't see why I can't be the chief of police of Narland someday. I already know the mayor, and my track record is one of the best in the department.
I'm sure it's just a matter of moments, mostly.
Yeah, you'll see.
Got any hobbies?
Yeah, making your life miserable.
I'm serious. Don't you shoot or chew or something like that?
No, I'm a freaking ballet dancer. Jeez. Yeah, I was #1 at the Louisiana State Fair Marksman Contest. I play trumpet, too. You know, put your lips together and blow.
How's your home life?
Oh, real funny night. Why don't you just bring in some freaking salt? You know Annie left me. My home life is shit.
Right. Sorry about that. Just tell me anything at all.
Remember how we used to play monkey in the middle? Man, we used to piss off our senior year teacher. What was her name? Oh, Miss McKelly. You'd act like you were gonna toss her an eraser or something. And then you'd throw it to me over her head. And we used to do it at your grand's, too. Like with the remote when she wanted to watch her soaps.
Yep. And it was a great way to pick up women in the library. Ah, those were the days. Just tell me anything at all.
You know, my doctor told me I got a little family of ulcers starting. I wish this case would end so I could get some rest for a change.
Just tell me it.
Oh,
Just...
For the book, I wanted to be an astronaut when I was young, or a fireman.
Fascinating. Just tell me anything at all.
I'm 6'2".
You are not.
Oh, come on. I'm close enough. Just write me out that way.
Just tell me.
You know...
Yeah?
Now...
You're on your own with that one, Pat. Oh.
Sure, nope. Okay.
Do you know anything about the patterns around the bodies?
Yeah, weird, huh? All 7 victims had those marks around them. We've got all the marks on file, but we haven't figured out what, if anything, they mean.
Can I see the other 6 patterns?
Sure. People like that kind of stuff, don't they? Might make the book seem more mysterious. Go talk to Officer Franks. Tell her I said you could see the file.
What's the status on the Voodoo Murders case?
It's going. I can't seem to make any progress, though. Sluggish damn case. It's weird.
What's the...
I told...
What's the status on the voodoo? So,
Lousy. I hate crime scenes. People are sick fucks, you know that, Knight?
starting to get that impression. You been feeling okay lately? You look like hell.
Me? You know. I can't sleep at night, what with thinking about the case and thinking about Annie.
I can relate. Played any b-ball lately?
Does it look like it? I'm so out of shape I'd probably have a coronary just looking at a ball.
Yeah, I'm out of it too. We should play sometime, get back into shape.
Man, I'd love to, Knight. I'll let you know if things ever settle down.
Anything else new?
Just work. Sorry I don't have more time to chat, bud.
Trying for a real estate job with that coat?
No? Are you trying out for a janitorial job with that hair?
Have you ever called the hair club for men?
I'd rather have no hair than your hair, Knight.
So how do you find anything in this office? It looks like a war zone in here.
Hey, I get my job done. I'm a detective, not Betty Crocker.
Are those new shoes? What are those, loafers? Kind of a mud-brown suede kind of thing?
Hey, I'm on my feet all day, all right? Is that okay with you?
Mostly. I'm being perfectly sincere.
Yeah, you and my grandmother. Right.
You know, you have a unique way of wearing clothes that's, well, the way they kind of hang, pleating over that stomach of yours, drooping off your butt.
We can't all have the body of a 12-year-old like you, Knight.
You know, if you started carrying a lollipop around, you might get more respect as a detective.
Go to hell.
Trying for real estate?
No? Are you trying out? I'd rather have no hair than your hair, Knight.
How about getting me some coffee?
Coffee? You want coffee?
Should that surprise you?
Nah, you've always been a caffeine addict. It's just that what we got here hardly qualifies.
So I'm desperate.
It's your stomach. I'll get you some when we're done talking.
That long?
All right, I'll go now. Don't touch anything while I'm gone.
I think I'll just borrow this badge.
Hey, what are you doing with my coat?
Nothing. I thought I saw something crawling on it.
Just drink this.
Thanks, tons. I mean it.
Okay, anything else?
I got those photographs you left for me.
Really? Great. What'd you think?
Astonishingly lifelike.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You got any more ideas for photos for the book?
A cop author photo might be nice.
You and me? Together?
Why not? Of course, you'll have to try to tone down your masculinity.
Well, okay. I'll call the police photographer. Franks, come in here a minute, would you? And bring your camera. I hate to put my coat on. It's so damn hot in here. But a picture's a picture.
What did you need, Detective Mosley?
We need a picture, please. And make it a good one, eh, sweetheart?
Sure, sweetheart.
Say, chintzy.
Was there anything else, Knight?
Hold on a sec while I go check my hair.
Good God, Knight. Make it fast.
There's nothing.
Mew mew on the...
Would you just get in here? Hurry up, would ya?
Okay.
Thanks, hon. Let me know when you...
Yeah, sure.
Anything else, Knight?
Nope, that's about it.
Great. Thanks, Franks. Hey, I made a rhyme.
You're astonishing, mostly.
Don't call me that in front of the lady, wise guy. Thank God I can take this thing off again. Damn, it's hot. Okay, anything else?
I'm gonna hit the road.
Ciao, baby.
Excuse me, officer?
Yes?
Can you get a file for me?
What file would that be?
The Voodoo Murders file. Detective Mosley said I could see it.
Really? Well, if you said so. There it is. You can look at it all you want, but don't leave this area with it, okay? And no photocopies either, I'm afraid.
Of course. I understand completely.
Gabriel opens and reads the police file.
Don't leave the room with...
I'm done.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, hey, hey.
Night. Whew, it's...
Can I ask you...
You're the writer.
I got...
So you...
Let's take another cup.
What for?
I don't think we...
Really? Franks, come back in here with that camera. I hate to put my coat on. It's so damn hot in here. But a picture's a picture.
Now what, sir?
This clown wants another picture. You don't mind, do you?
Of course not. What else could I possibly have to do? Ready? Smile.
Anything else, Knight?
Hold on a sec.
Good God, Knight.
Just wanna check this machine here.
Would you just get in here? Hurry up, would ya?
Okay, ready.
Thanks, hon. Let me know when you get them developed. The photos, that is.
Yeah, sure.
Anything else, Knight?
How about one of me and Officer Franks?
Gee, I don't know. Franks? Just kidding, Franks. You want to get me fired for sexual harassment, Knight?
Well...
Yeah, ha. Now, is there anything else, or can I let this lady go back to her desk?
Nope, that's about it.
Good. See you, Franks.
Uh-huh.
Thank God I can take this thing off again. Damn, it's hot. Okay.
Gabriel has a photocopy of the official police file. The badge says Nolens Police Department and Detective Franklin Mosley.
I picked up this scale at Lake...
Yeah? What makes you think it's related to the murders?
Well, it was at the crime scene.
Sure. Must be the only snake in Louisiana, all right. That voodoo snake. Christ.
I copied those marks from the lake.
Really? Good for you.
Do you want to see my sketch?
No, we have our own copy, Knight.
I have that photo of you graduating from the police academy.
Oh, yeah.
I'll let you get back.
Later, Knight.
Gabriel decides to...
May I help you?
My name is Detective Mosley. I'm here on police business.
Really? How interesting. But wait here. I'll inform Miss Getty. Miss Getty will see you. Right this way. Miss Getty will be down shortly.
Thank you.
What can I do for you, Detective?
Beautiful women. They must be relatives.
They are.
The only thing Gabriel wants to mess around with in his room is Malia herself. The only thing Gabriel's likely to burn here is his bridges. The side table probably costs more than Gabriel's shop.
Nice statue. I like it.
Thank you. It's The Rebellious Slave by Michelangelo.
Dante's Inferno. Nothing like a little light reading. Harvard classics. Homer, Virgil. Maybe Malia wouldn't be impressed by a signed copy of one of Gabriel's novels. Genuine lion skin.
I can imagine doing things on that rug.
Excuse me?
Oh, nothing. Modern art?
More or less. It's a Picasso.
The leather on the chair is as soft as butter. Gabriel's coat feels like rawhide in comparison.
Undoubtedly proof that there is a God. Mind if I ask you a few questions, Miss Kitty?
I assume that's what you're here for, Detective.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Voodoo? Why would you want to know about that, Detective? It's rather silly, isn't it?
There's nothing silly about the voodoo murders.
But that voodoo is faked. That's what I've read in the papers.
That's what the papers say, all right.
But you're not convinced.
No, frankly, I'm not. The police department isn't known for its imagination.
Oh? Well, I can see that your imagination is considerable.
Are you sure you can't tell me anything about voodoo?
I really don't know much about it. Isn't there some place in town that you can find out about that sort of thing? A museum or something?
I believe there is a museum.
Then maybe you should check there.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
The murders? Only what I read in the papers.
And what do you read in the papers?
I'm sure you know much more about it than I, Detective.
Tell me about your life in New Orleans.
The Getty family came to New Orleans in 1800. We worked very hard to get where we are. On the other hand, we've done a lot for this community.
I can believe that. You're doing a lot for me right now. Tell me more about New Orleans.
I'm afraid I don't get out into New Orleans society much. Because of the Getty money, we have slots in the best country clubs and on the best Mardi Gras courts. But I must admit I hate it. I avoid actually making an appearance unless it becomes absolutely necessary.
I know about those courts. They're very exclusive.
Yes, especially when it comes to people of my race. That's why we don't turn down the appointments. It's a rare opportunity to rub their noses in it. But that's not where I spend my time. I have more important things to do with my life.
That's admirable. Many women would love the chance to get caught up in that kind of life.
I'm not any kind of woman you might be familiar with.
Yes, I can see that. Do you know anything about snakes?
I'm no expert. I don't fear them like most people do.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
I believe it's some sort of local holiday, but I don't know much about it.
What do you know about Marie Laveau?
I've heard of her, of course, but that's about it.
Do you have any idea what Cabri Saint-Caux means?
No, I don't. What does it mean, Detective?
That's confidential information, ma'am. Do you know anything about animal masks?
Animal masks? I don't know what you mean.
Tell me about yourself.
I suppose I don't really have a choice. What do you want to know, Detective?
What kind of things interest you?
I don't have a lot of free time, but I do appreciate the arts. Opera, symphony, ballet, fine art. If you look around, you'll see that we collect African art, for example.
Yes, it's very beautiful.
It is, Detective. It means a great deal to me.
Do you have a career?
A career? Being the head of the Getty family is a 24-hour-a-day job. We have many holdings and many responsibilities, financial and otherwise. The management of our business affairs and properties leaves me with time for little else.
Poor little rich girl?
Believe it or not, Detective, wealth does have its price.
Tell me about your family.
The Gettys? We're a very private family.
How many people are there in your family?
Well, my mother just passed away.
Oh, I am sorry.
So am I. She was a magnificent woman. We were very close. I was an only child.
And your father?
I never knew him.
It's hard to believe that any man would leave a woman like you. Or like your mother must have been.
He did not leave, Detective. But that's really none of your concern.
I'm sorry. Go on.
There are, of course, other Gettys in the city. I have a large extended family.
I see. Do you have a husband, boyfriend?
I'm very independent, Detective. The women in my family have always preferred it that way.
So you've never been married?
No, and I never will be.
What about children?
Yes, that is likely. Someday.
I'd like to hear just about anything.
I have a business degree from Vanderbilt. I wanted to study psychology, but my family's interests came first.
Oh, why not something like law, then? Surely that would have been an asset to the family.
Law? Please. I do have some morals, Detective.
I'd like to hear just about...
For the record, I'm 28, Detective.
I'd like...
I have few friends. A woman in my position can't really afford them.
I'd like to hear just about anything.
I try to stay away from the media as much as possible. Last year there was that story about John Jr. and I. Phone didn't stop ringing for weeks. I prefer to keep my private life private. I would appreciate it if you'd keep my name away from any public association with the police, Detective.
Of course. I wouldn't know where to begin.
As you wish, Detective.
Can you tell me anything about what happened out at the lake?
I wish I could. But I've never seen or heard anything unusual at the lake. And I do spend quite a bit of time out there.
Excuse me, but your eyes are really distracting. I don't think I've ever seen a color quite like that brownish gold. It's so deep and rich. Man, if I could bottle that, I'd make a fortune.
Thank you, Detective. That's an interesting observation, though probably not relevant to your case.
A good detective never knows what might be relevant, Miss Getty.
Then you must be truly exceptional at your job.
I can't help noticing that you're in incredible shape, Miss Getty. Your legs are so strong. Do you work out at one of the clubs by the lake?
Well, Detective, I do enjoy physical activity.
Oh, me too.
Actually, I was referring to swimming and modern dance. I can't say that I do much exercising at the lake, though.
Ah, well, it was worth asking.
I think this has gone on long enough. You're not really a detective, are you?
Who, me? Well, I am on this case, Miss Getty.
I saw you at the lake yesterday. I thought you must be with the police since you were there, but you don't act like a police officer. Besides, I'm rather certain that the other man said his name was Mosley.
All right, you caught me. I'm not with the police. My name is Gabriel Knight. I'm a writer working with Detective Mosley on a book.
Well, Mr. Knight, now that we've established who you are, perhaps you can tell me the real reason you're here.
Well, I am researching the book, and I thought you might have seen or heard something at the lake.
I don't like liars, Mr. Knight.
Okay, you're right. I really just wanted to see you again. You can be mad at me if you want, but I swear I've never done anything like this before.
Mr. Knight, you've lied about your identity and wasted my time with meaningless questions. If it weren't vaguely flattering, I'd really be angry. You're lucky I don't call the real police. I think you should go, Mr. Knight.
Malia, wait. If you just give me a chance.
I've wasted enough time. I'll have Robert show you out. Robert? Show Mr. Knight out, please.
I most certainly will.
Thank you very much. I had a lovely time. Ah, shit.
A sign on the front door.
I knew you'd miss me, so I came back.
Really? I forgot you were gone.
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Could you do some research for me?
Sure, what?
I need you to look up a Madame Casino.
Madame Casino? Is she related to the murders the same way your friend Molly Aghetti was?
Grace, Casino's at least 70.
As if that makes a difference to you. Okay, I'll see what I can find. Anything else?
I can't think of anything. I'm going out.
Don't hurry back.
Hey, bud.
You! Give me my badge, right now!
Oh, is that why you're so excited? If you knew what I needed it for, you...
I'm sure it was to impress a woman. You could have asked. Do you know how embarrassing it is to admit your badge was stolen? I had a photo with the chief, and he wanted me wearing it. I should lock you up, Knight.
I suppose you could. Seems to me, though, there was that time you borrowed my bike without mentioning it, right from in front of my shop.
Yeah, don't remind me. Just don't do it again.
I'm gonna hit the...
Ciao, baby.
The vendor wouldn't be in. The vendor wouldn't be.
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Yep, I mind, all right.
Why?
Because A, I don't know anything, and B, I'm busy.
Oh.
An artist is taking.
Oh, hey! Come back here. Hey! Oh, unbelievable. Rotten luck.
There's a drawing. Gabriel can't reach the drawing from where he is. A small boy is tap dancing enthusiastically for a doobie dog vendor. The vendor ignores him.
Can you fit through the bars around the statue?
Got any money?
Nope.
There you have it. No.
Can't think of anything.
Okay then.
I have this gift certificate.
I'm busy.
It's good for $20 at St. George's Books. Finest bookstore in New Orleans.
Really? I'll have to check it out sometime.
You could take this gift certificate with you. If you'll give me a doobie dog.
A doobie dog for a $20 gift certificate? Sure, here you go.
You wouldn't like a doobie dog by any chance.
Would I? Thanks, mister. You got any special requests? Let me know.
You mentioned something about special requests.
Yeah, you got one?
Can you fit through the bars around the statue?
Can I? Just watch me.
Good. There's something in there I can't quite reach. Can you reach that piece of paper?
Sure thing. Here you go.
Thanks, kid.
Yup. See ya.
Stupid wind. Now I have to start all over.
This belongs to you, doesn't it?
My drawing. How'd you get it?
Oh, it was a bit of a squeeze, but I hate to see you lose your work. I lost my only copy of a manuscript once.
Well, you saved my butt. Let me know if I can ever do the same for you, hey?
Is there any way you can reconstruct the whole pattern from these partials?
The pattern is probably circular, and there's some repetition in the elements. Okie dokie. Well, I think there's an area missing. If you could get me any more of these, I'll see what I can do.
I have another one of those patterns.
Really? Let's see. Yeah, this is great. I think there's enough overlap now. I'll give it my best shot. I'll show you what I come up with tomorrow.
Great. I appreciate it.
The chancel of St. Louis Cathedral. Rows of pews line each side of the nave's aisle. Someone is in that. Someone is in. It's getting late. Gabriel,
I'm so glad you could join us today. I've got messages when you want them. I also checked out Casino. There are multiple listings in the white pages. I got the page, but you'll have to figure out the right one.
Great. Thanks.
Now, are you gonna tell me what happened yesterday with Molly Aghetti, or is it just too embarrassing? Don't tell me you actually got to see her.
All the stars out tonight.
Gabriel, you don't seriously think she's interested. She can have any man in the city. You know, men with bank accounts.
You underestimate the Knight family's tragic poet samurai appeal. When Daddy married Mom, she was the hottest catch in town.
I always suspected there was something fishy in your family tree. But seriously, I think you should be careful.
Meow, Grace.
I'm serious. I don't know why, but I have a bad feeling in the pit of my stomach about this.
It's called jealousy, my dear. And you're right, you should be jealous of Molly Aghetti. As should every woman on this planet.
I just... never mind. I'll just fix these books. Your life is in your own slippery little hands.
The point is to get it into somebody else's hands. And soon.